there are a lot of you that are in relationships that you're working so hard to keep it. Now, granted, in every relationship, it's going to be work. It takes communication, understanding, compromise, all of that, right? Full support. So, yes, there will be things that will come up in relationships. That's normal, where perfectly healthy couples have conflict, or they come up with it to a problem that they may not agree with, and they resolve it. But I'm talking about the patch and paint relationships where you got to be doing all types of stuff to keep this man, to keep this woman in your life. When you're going through all this stuff to try to maintain this relationship, patch and paint relationships, okay? You have this man, you have this woman, and it's just work. It's just you got to be doing all types of stuff to keep it going. You are the one that have to apologize for the most part. You're the one that's making the sacrifices. You're going all out, and you're literally trying to keep your marriage together. You're literally trying to keep this person at home. You're literally trying to keep them from leaving you. You're compromising. You're allowing them to go run the fields as long as they come home. Some of you have reached a place that you're at this place in your life where you're like, listen, as long as you come home to me, you have totally dropped any type of pride or self-respect. You have reached a place that anything it takes, as long as you don't divorce me, as long as you don't leave me, as long as you come home, I won't bother you no more. Some of you, you don't want to even talk about the divorce. I'm sorry. You don't want to talk about the affairs that they're having anymore. You don't want to call them on anything anymore because you're afraid that they'll leave you. And this person knows that they have leverage. Well, my brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you, a lot of times while you're going through this type of stuff, a lot of times while you're going through this type of hell, if you want to call it that, is because that man or that woman was never for you. That's not your husband. She was not supposed to be your wife. She, if you're dating them, take note and run, because this man or this woman is not for you. You're getting ready to marry some of these people that's acting out now. I'm here to tell you, my brothers and sisters, it's not going to get no better when they become your husband or they become your wife. If they can show out now, you best believe that, listen, it's going to be some showstoppers after you get married. A lot of you are in these relationships where you have a husband or wife that has become a bull in the china shop. You're in relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, you moved in with them, whatever it is, all hell is breaking loose. This person is not for you. So a lot of times when you did not obey the Lord, you did not obey his voice when he was showing you things, when things was happening, when things came out, some of it, you caught this woman or this man in full-blown cheating, and you still married them anyway. They started to show you stuff. They started to hit you before you got married to them. They started to disrespect you before you got married to them. They were disrespecting your family. Your family was telling you about them, but you went along anyway. So now you felt maybe your love and your cooking and your attention and just the fact that you got married will change them. But I'm here to tell you, you can't change a person's character no matter what setting you put them in. A pig's going to be a pig at the beach. They're going to be a pig, and they're going to have the same habits of a pig. If you put them in a formal dining room, they're going to look like a pig and they're going to act like a pig. If you put them in the presidential suite, a pig is a pig, okay? And it's going to act the way it acts because it's used to being in a trough. It eats out of a trough, so it's going to eat that same way at the presidential table. You understand? It's going to act just as loose and wild as anything because it's used to being out in the wild. So I say that to tell you that when God shows you some things, you need to pay attention to it. Many of you are in these relationships now. You got all types of patch and paints and trying to fill up the holes and trying to do whatever you can to keep it going. A person that does not want to be with you. A person that is with you only because they have kids with you. A person is only with you because, well, you're pretty much paying him or her off to stay with you. God does not want you to live this way. And a lot of times you're doing this because it was never of God. And now you want God. God bless my marriage. God told you this man or woman is not for you. You want him to bless what? The thing is, a lot of times people that are this way, I don't care who they are and what position they hold, they are not being obedient to the Lord. There's no way a man or woman that's following into the things of God can be a heartache to such a degree. Could be such, no matter how much you straighten them out, they curl back up. They're like a slinky. That's what they know. So no amount of stretching is going to help. They're not created for this. They're not created for wholeness. So they act up. And there's some of them, they claim to not want to leave you because they love you. But my brothers and sisters, I'm trying to tell you, they don't love you. They love that you love them. They love the security in you. So they want to go run the field, do whatever, touch all types of stuff, lay and roll with poison ivy and come on home to you. No, 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 no. God is saying a lot of these things are happening because you were never supposed to be with this person in the first place. Pray to the Lord. Seek him. Those of you that's single, leave. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Married people, they got to think a little bit more because they're in a covenant. And God, and I did one is called set your, I am setting you free, where God, it does not mean that, someone just stay in a marriage in a situation that's abusive and terrible. But what I'm saying for people that's single is nothing to really think about. We're not going to lose nothing really. Then, okay, you cry and you feel some type of way, but you're not obligated. Marriage, even if you're stepping out of that, it's still, it's just not that simple, right? You still have to have things in order, certain things in place. There's so much more because you're in a covenant. You understand what I'm saying? So again, I'm not telling you that if you're in abusive relationships and things like that, and God has put in your heart that you're going to leave this marriage. I'm still saying, even with that, it's different than when someone that's single that can just say, it's over. You can text it if you want to. You can call and you hang up and it's finished, right? Married people, there's more steps to it to get that done. So I hear the Lord saying, seek him out. Those of you that are married, those of you that think you don't know what to do, God is saying, seek him and trust him. A lot of times you go, well, where will I go? It seems like to walk away from the relationship, there's this big void of nothing. But God is saying, in nothing, I am there because I created nothing. So you need to step out of me and trust me to take you every step of the way. Whether it gets tougher or not, the Lord says, I'm with you. But a lot of these relationships, my brothers and sisters, that you're fighting for, you patching and fixing, and you're propping, that man's not for you. That woman's not for you. They were never for you to begin with. So that's why it's so much hell. Let me end with this. Do you remember when at the time before he became Abraham, he was Abram. And Sarah, before she became Sarah, she was Sarai, right? And when they went into Egypt, he was afraid that they will kill him because she was so pretty. So he told her to lie and say she was his sister. So the Pharaoh saw her and inquired about her, found out, said that this was his sister. She ended up going into his house, and guess what? All types of hell broke loose in the palace. I think there was like some plagues and things like that. And then the Lord showed the Pharaoh in a dream that this is his wife. And listen, he told him, why did you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? You lied to me. You could have cost me my life, my house, take her and everything. And he told people, don't even touch her. Don't touch them. Just let them go. So what am I trying to say? Sometimes what's not for you, that's in your house, is the reason why you have no types of hell in your life. You see, sometimes that man or woman, that's not your wife. That's not your husband. They didn't belong to you. But you, because you wanted it to work, you went and married somebody or something that's not your own. So all kinds of hell is breaking loose in your house. This person is not for you. They're full of darkness. So all types of stuff is breaking loose in your house. It may not even be that they belong to somebody. They don't belong to you. They're not of God. They don't operate in God. So all types of hell is breaking loose in your house because you're trying to put light and dark together, and that's not going to work. And my brothers and sisters, some of you got somebody husband and somebody wife up in your house, and that's why all hell is breaking loose. That man does not belong to you. You can't have somebody husband, somebody wife, and think a curse is not going to come upon your household. Something's not going to come down the pipe on you. And my brothers and sisters, don't feel like, we know some people right now that's walked out, left their wife, married people, and you see them on TV and it looks so great. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. And God is saying, even if they ask for repentance, there's still things that will come. Just because you don't see it falling out the sky, don't mean that it's not already lined up and will fruit and come into fruition at its appointed time. So God is saying you can't, listen, some people, the hell you're going through and the things you're going through is because of your sin. It's because this person was not yours. Some of you, the things that is coming into your body, sickness, every time you lay with this man or woman that's not yours, or God says, no, this is where you want to, oh, I have fibroids. Why do I have this? I seem to have this problem. I seem to have that going on. Blah, 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 blah. People get sick later. Guys, sin brings you, listen, the wages of sin is not always that you're just going to get found out. Sometimes the wages of sin is sickness. Sometimes the wages of sickness is death. Because you keep messing with and hanging with people that you just steady with a man that's running around, sleeping around. No matter what God tell you, okay, you sleep with him and he give you something. He's stressing you out. She's stressing you so much that you get some sort of an embolism. You get your blood pressure goes up, kill you. You have a heart, you have high blood pressure because you're going through so much stress with her. Your heart's beating so hard that guess what? What's blood pressure? Your heart is pumping, the blood in your body is pumping so hard. And when you get mad, it increases it. So guess what? Instead of you having like a normal size heart, the human heart is about the size of your fist. So if you look at your fist, your heart is about the size of your fist. So imagine if you have blood pressure, your heart is beating so fast, your blood pressure is going up, it's skyrocketing because of the next thing that she's doing or haven't done. And what happens with blood pressure is that your heart actually gets bigger. It gets bigger because of the pressure and how hard it's pumping blood. So it's like it's getting a workout that it shouldn't be getting. And guess what? Next thing you know, you kicking a bucket. Over her? Over him? Come on now. No one is worth that. Turn to the Lord, seek him carefully, and let him give you the strength to get yourself out of these things once and for all.